Marcos here, and welcome to episode 3 of the EaveeCraft Server Play series. A few little changes that have happened since the last base. As I'm sure you can see, my base actually looks half decently pretty. One of the staff, Yippee Doodles, got bored one night, said, "Give me something to do." I asked her to just, make a little adjustment to my entrance, and she just went crazy with filling out my base with nice blocks and lights and stuff. My farm's all enclosed now. She did an amazing job. So now it actually looks half decently homely here. I've also been significantly working on my bees. I'm not going to be doing that in this episode. One of the things I'm getting to now is my power generation, even with my big reactor. It's just it's not as efficient as I'd like it to be. So because we're running on big reactors 3 now, I want to actually try moving on to the next stage, which is actually changing this from a passively cooled reactor to an actively cooled reactor and building a turbine for it. The difference between the two: a passively cool is what you see here, where basically I've got some sort of fluid within the tank that's actually cooling the reactor so that when I'm powering it, the heat's not skyrocketing and it's generating power more efficiently. An actively cooled one, I actually have to be consistently pumping water into this, and this reactor then produces steam. That steam then goes to a steam turbine, which I'm going to build around here, and it should actually produce a much better conversion ratio of energy compared to what I just get from the reactor here. I have not actually attempted this before. I've done a little bit of research, and this is not a spotlight on it, so prepare for me to screw up and not be quite sure what I'm doing, but we should be able to figure this out. Okay, so the first things I'm going to need to do is I actually need to convert this into a tank. Just so we can see the conversion for you guys, I'm just going to start this thing up so we can kind of see what my power rate is like. So on a good day, we're doing 7.9 to 8,000 RF, which is about 800 MJ. So I'm just going to make a little note here. Alright, so now we have our basis number. And now the next stage is going to be converting this to actively cooled system. So I don't need the power ports anymore. But I don't have axe on me. There. That. Switch to reactor glass. There you go. So it's still set up now. To change the mode, I need at least one fluid port, which I believe, or coolant port, which I've made. Doesn't really matter where I put it, but since I need to pump water into it, I'm actually going to put it back here, so then I have some space to throw the water in. It also gives me a wide open spot in case I need to add multiple ports. I'll just toss that there. And coolant port. There we go. So now in theory this should be an actively cooled. The interface should have changed and we'll have an actively cooled reactor now. So it has changed, as you can see. Now it has a few additional items where it's not actually going to show me power generation. It's actually going to show me how much hot fluid output, which is technically steam, is producing. And this is actually our critical number because this is what goes into the turbine. So we kind of need to know what this will produce. This will not produce power on its own anymore. So I'm running off my passive stuff for now. So I've got most machines turned off. I am generating some power very, very slowly. But I'm running on reserves until I get this done. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is, well, we need to actually have water available for it. Let's, I don't think I have the reservoir recipe set up in my MFE anymore, so we'll just quickly do this. I suppose I should have checked first, but well, I do have it. Alright, well, not a big deal. Just go shift right click, clear it out, and we're good. Alright, so we'll build some reservoirs here. We'll need 4. We'll need some buckets of water. And my buckets are missing. Alright, well, it wouldn't be the first time that they disappear on me. I'll just quickly make myself another one. And we can grab the water we need out of the other reservoir. Perfect. Now, as far as I'm aware, this probably won't be enough water just on its own. We'll just have to test out to see how it goes, but you know, the tutorials I've read up on it and stuff is this thing will use a ton of water, especially for a slightly bigger reactor like this. But we'll test this out, see how it works, and we'll do more if we need to. Alright, so water is flowing in. And the first thing we want to do is we need to find out how much of that steam this reactor is going to produce when we use it. What am I doing? And that is not how you make a sign. There we go. Alright, so our water's full. We've got full fuel. We'll turn this on, and it should give us a number. Alright, so it's producing 1,868 millibuckets, I think. And it doesn't look like there's actually enough water happening to make this work. Our efficiency seems insanely high. It could also just be the sheer amount of steam in there. It might just be overheating because of that. Alright, well, 1868 we'll use as our basis number for now. As I said, I will have to play with this a bit. And the reason why we want to know this number is because it's going to help determine how we build our reactor. Well, we'll wait till I get to that point and I'll kind of explain how we're going to do things. I'm probably going to build this thing too small then, now that I'm thinking about it, but we'll give it a shot. So I've been building some turbine housing, and we'll just I suppose if I do it like this, I could build 2 turbines. As opposed to making it wide, let's just try to keep this simple. We'll just make it long. this housing. I was smart enough to get a lot of steel prepped for this. So we'll do, probably need another stack or so. I should say I made the steel dust. I'm waiting for it to all cook now in the smelter. Let's just speed this up. Huh. I thought I made a lot. I guess I was wrong. Okay, so we're actually going to change this because I'm going to need far more steel than what I've got producing. So we're actually going to change what I'm doing to something I've been supposed to be doing, or I've been intending to do for quite some time, which is actually change this metallurgic infuser to consistently produce steel if I don't have a large amount available. So we're going to need a few things. We need a level limiter. We need a precision export bus, and just to be on the safe side in case we need it, we'll grab some ME cable, and then I've got coal and iron which I can use here. So I need one more thing, steel. I need steel dust because the metallurgic infuser creates this dust. I need to have that available to me. So now that I think about it, let's this will not work as is. So let's yeah, my machines are getting a little cluttered. I need to spread this out a little bit, but for now we will not have fluids in here. No. Okay, so we'll get rid of these for now. I do not need them for the time being, and we'll just pop them here so I remember where they are for later. And I'm gonna actually make another 2 metallurgic infusers. Ultimately I will need at least 3 when my base is fully done, so it doesn't hurt to build 2 right now, minus the fact I apparently don't have the recipe for it anymore. That's easy enough to change though. There we go. Alright, so we're actually going to need a second level limiter, and we've already got 2 precision export buses, so we should be okay with that. Alright, and we've got our steel dust. We need a I can never remember what it's called. Enriched iron. I always want to say it's refined, but that's an IC2 thing. Alright, so we'll put our 2 machines down. And I'll bring some cabling over. Actually, I'm actually going to need a few import buses, and I might as well hook up my sag mill while I'm at it. I'm only going to use basic ones simply because they use less power and it's all I'm going to require for these machines. I'll just take a minute to craft them. cable up here. And well, actually, just to save use of the extra cable, we'll just toss it here for now. Okay, so then to top this off, I really like that cable there. Alright, never mind. I'm going to put this back. Then eventually I'll put an export bus here when I want it for my sag mill, but I need these level emitters here. Alright, so here's the plan. We are going to configure this one to produce steel dust if my amount of steel dust is underneath a certain level. So I want to change my redstone mode to emit a redstone signal when levels are below a certain amount. I'm going to add steel dust, and we'll say 100. So I always want to have 100 steel dust available at all times. So because I don't have that amount, I've only got 42, the light is actually going. This one, I am going to set for enriched iron. Or, yeah, enriched iron. Okay. We'll say this one has to have at least 100 of as well. And if it's below that level, we'll set it off. So both of these are going because both of them need stuff. So now this one is the first component, which is the... Why does that already have stuff in it? Oh, because that was an old machine I already had in there. Alright, never mind. Okay, so just for explanations, we're going to have coal going into here, and we are going to have iron going into here. Now the catch is I'm hoping with the export bus it'll automatically put into the right areas. It should, but if it doesn't, I'm gonna have to finagle this a little bit, and I might have to set up the configurations to be a little bit more precise. Alright, so in any case, we'll put say we want coal and we want iron, and it's not wanting to put anything in. In theory, it should work. Yeah, that's how I've got it set up, so it should be importing. And I've got iron and coal. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's my derp. I don't actually have it connected to the freaking network. So there we go. So coal's going in. Iron is not. And that's because of how I said it. If I put it on red, there goes the iron. So let's see if I can find a way to, if I just disable that mullet, put in both. I figured that was wishful thinking. So I'm gonna have to do it on two sides. Alright, now how am I gonna make that work? On the good note, though, it's at least working properly as far as creating the enriched iron goes. Let's never had this issue before. The two input slots does make sense because if I want to use, say, redstone, it can actually be used as energy or is actually part of the metallurgical fusion. So I do understand why it's done like this. I just really wish there was a nice way. There very well could be one. It's just there's no way I can think of where they can both go into the same slot. Alright, well, I can only brood over this for so long, so for now, we'll actually turn this off. It should actually be active with the signal, so I was doing that wrong anyways. Just make that active with that signal, take that out. It should actually store everything that's in here. Let's get myself another cable. Universal cable. Just trying to think of the best way to make this work. Alright, this is not going to be the most efficient way, but since I don't want to spend 3 days working on this, at least for the video, get out of there. Alright, we are going to remove these, and instead this really threw me for a loop. Alright, I'm gonna take a few minutes, try to figure this out, and I'll be back. Alright, it's not the most elegant way, but I think I have figured out how to do this. We are going to craft a couple of basic export buses to go along with what I had set up, and I'm going to reset up what I already had, so we'll just export bus, and it's empty. Limiter. Okay. Right. So then what we're also going to do is we're going to stop trying to put in both coal and iron. In fact, I could probably turn around and make this. No, the basic ones I don't think allow redstone signal changes. Let's see. I won't know with an import. We'll check with the export. I mean, we're talking minuscule amounts of power differences, so I'll live with it if I have to. At some point I need to automate it, recognizing when it needs more iron. So many things I got to do in this. Alright, so we'll just do one basic export for now, just to kind of demonstrate how this is all going to work. And we have our cabling. Put that here. This export bus, yeah, there's no redstone signals thing, so I have to leave the precision ones up there. So this one we're actually going to put as coal, and then we have to set this so that, and I believe this is the front facing, set this to purple. No, why would that be the front facing? What the heck do I know? down. Maybe the front just can't be thingied. Okay, well, we'll just turn it on its side then. Come on. So we'll put it in like this. Right, and we'll have to destroy this one too. We'll put that in. No, bad. Well, that's just stupidity on my part. Alright, let's try this again. There we go. Okay, so for this one, we want the left-hand side of this to be purple. And in theory, or did I not? Yeah, it's not connected again. So I always do that with these things. Alright, so let's try this again. Put this down. Put that down. Alright, now it's actually active, and now it should be pumping stuff in there, so the coal is going in. Hooray. After all those derps. And what are we slacking on? Alright. So the other one, and we'll make that coal too. This time, though, it's on the left-hand side. So we'll make that purple. That should be right. Well, that shouldn't matter unless I've got the input component turned on or off. Looks like the power might be out. No, we still have power, but we're actually getting a little low, so I do have a backup cube I can use. Looks like it's connected. All right. Wow, so this video is just becoming how to make freaking steel. Or how badly can I screw up configuring mechanism stuff. This has to be cool. I do know we have coal in the, well, let's just double check. I screwed everything else up today. No, we do have coal in there. So this should, in theory, be working. The EaveeCraft actually connected this time. Okay, so how am I screwing this up? I'm sure there's at least 2 or 3 of you out there who have picked up on whatever it is I'm doing wrong right now. So let's try to see it. So it's perfectly fine with tossing the iron in there. I'll change the front to purple again. There we go, it is going in there. I'm not sure why it wasn't going in the left side. Or maybe the, no, because that is about, I don't know what I did, but in any case, it's working now, so it's making enriched iron. So, we need some speed and energy upgrades. I'm not going to go too crazy with this. I'm not going to go too crazy with this stuff. Simply because I don't need it running at max power all the time. If I get a little impatient, I can always expand on it. Alright, so for this one, if we don't have enough steel dust, we want to toss in enriched iron and just move a full stack. And up to just the top here. Red, and there we go. But now the output's going to be screwed up on this one, I'm sure. Alright, so I know it is going out. Alright, I'll take that. The output on this one is screwed up. So I'm going to make this one dark blue. Should, in theory, there we go. It's out. Now we should be seeing the level of steel dust slowly increasing, which will work out perfectly for me. And then once there's at least 100 steel dust, we're actually going to increase that to 250. It'll stop, so I'll always have a nice surplus of steel available. Okay, so 30 minutes later, we are now going to actually start on this turbine.